For a while now this year, I promised that I would cover a number of topics on this channel. I would cover different ways to install Windows 11 on different things. I would figure out what, in my opinion, would be the best media player for Windows 11 going forward, or Windows in general going forward, that isn't Microsoft's media player necessarily, but including Microsoft's media player. I promised a lot of those things and I didn't do it yet. So before the name change of the channel and the shift of the channel happens, I figure let's take a step back and complete those chronicles and complete those series first. So in this video, we're going to take a look at an app called Media Player, not the one Microsoft made. And this one is not fluent. It is not following the Windows 11 design principles, but hopefully by the time this video comes out, hopefully it will inspire them to update the application to the Windows 11 design principles. So let's take a look, take it with a grain of salt. Let's see if it's a good contender for Media Player App of the Year and replacement on Windows. All right, everybody, so this is the application, and there's a few things I have to say directly to this developer, Yellow Elephant Productions. I have a few questions and a few gripes to ask about. One thing is, why is this application so resource intensive? When I go to my task manager and I view it here, it is using a lot of power and is using almost a gigabyte of memory for just this application alone. Why is it using up that much memory? I don't understand. And then another thing that I have to ask is, why is it constantly searching for stuff? There's no way to turn off it searching for stuff as far as I can see. Why is it searching for stuff? Because it's gotten to the point where my computer is laggy in terms of using this application. I don't get it, because the application looks nice and the functionality is there, but it's so laggy. Like, you hear me clicking and it is not doing anything. You see that I'm gonna make it windowed so that you guys can see, and you can see that my computer is lagging out because of this application. So let me see if I exit out, and then you see like, hey, I'm clicking open, I'm clicking this stuff, I'm dragging, everything is smooth. And when I hit open on the application, and then let me see, will the Microsoft Store still stay smooth? This thing, and then you want this thing popping up. This to me feels more like freeware, because dragging this Microsoft Store thing, it's smooth right now. But as I start using this application, it starts trying to search my files for things, for the media. It just kind of shatters apart. It looks good, but it shatters apart. And so those are my gripes with this. I'm fighting. I feel like I'm fighting the application to work. And my PC runs a 128 gigs of RAM. It has M.2 storage running for this application. It has like a 6900 XT for AMD that came out late last year. It's got the latest specs, and the computer lags when using this application, which is very strange to me. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. We'll see. I'm going to make it full screen and quickly try to go through the application as best I can. I guess the other thing that I will say too is that this timer here is very annoying. It's in my way when I'm doing things. It just feels like it's covering stuff up. It might not be, but it just feels like something's being covered up behind it, and it's just bright in there. And the other last thing to complain about before I really get into the application is, when I'm using the application and I'm not using the pro version, as you can tell that I'm not using the pro version, pop-ups pop up, advertisement pop-ups pop up telling me to upgrade to the pro version every couple minutes, which is annoying. You can probably see this in this video anyway, that pop-up will come up. So let's do this quickly. One other thing, when you click this menu button here, everything is laid out really well. They got a big pro button here, and they're advertising their two other applications. I wish they would just create another sub area called other applications, or other apps, or something like that, so that people can look at that, because these are kind of intrusive. These kind of make it look like, even if you skip through their whole tutorial intro area when you first open up the app that I showed you, you may miss the idea seeing that Blu-ray and DVD is not included, and they're separate applications, which I believe you have to pay for. Let me see. Oh yeah, they have in-app purchases too, and it's a similar layout. So It's kind of annoying to see these things here, but I get it. So let's try to push forward and go through. So we got search, we got now playing playlists, local media, which pulls from what's on your current computer hard drive. You got streams, which you can actually stream music in, similar to the old iTunes, how you could stream music from sources. You got external media, which in this case for me will pull in from either my SD card or it'll pull in from my external hard drive that's connected to the computer right now. You got open file, you got your open folder, new playlist, equalizer, which is pretty nice. So you can see I set up home theater, and if you click the drop down, you can see a whole bunch of other things. And then I think you have to turn it on. Yep, you have to turn it on to turn on the thing. And I think it's a pro feature, which it is. So the equalizer, and this is the pop-up that I was talking about right there. It's kind of annoying. So the equalizer is a pro feature. I kind of wish you would just label it as pro instead of misleading people to showing them that it is a pro feature, just to get the pop-up. And then you got settings here, which is pretty bare minimum settings. It's not the settings I look for when I'm looking for an application that I want to recommend to people. I would love to always see a way to maybe turn off the scanning, because you'll notice those dots going across the top of the screen when I'm doing the video. That means that the application is scanning for more media to put into the application. The other thing too is the about is good enough, but it doesn't give me any way to contact the developer. It just gives me more ways to click on and download your apps. So if I click this, it goes to all the apps that you've made here. I wish there was a way to contact the developer easily. It does give you a feedback link, but the developer part is very important. And of course you got share, which gives you your Windows share tool right there. So now let's go back to playlist. So you can see you can create a playlist to do anything like that, which is what down here is. Open file, open folder, create playlist right there. And then if I go to actually this button here, this is actually my albums or my songs, albums, whatever you choose to call it. So I can play whatever I want. Let's say I want to play, I don't know, Lupe Fiasco. Or sorry, this is not Lupe Fiasco. It's supposed to be Lupe Fiasco. I don't know why it's playing Music Soul Child instead, but there you go. It plays Music Soul Child, and it looks like I'm not sure what the background is. Oh, you see right here, it's clicking Music Soul Child anyway. So you got different things here that you can click on. So let's say I do this video. This is Lupe Fiasco. I think this is a generic background, dynamic background for the application. It doesn't actually show the artist. It doesn't pull in the artist's information and show like maybe a picture of the artist in the background or the album cover. It doesn't show any of that. And then another thing you might notice too is that it's not really the labeling, because if I open up Windows Media Player right now, you'll see that a lot of my albums have album art on it, but it doesn't look like it pulled any of the album art, which is very strange to me. Could just be me. And then you got up here, which is your queue of how things are, when things are going to play. And then you got your usual controls there, your backtrack, forward track, play, pause, your volume slider, which is the Windows 10 style, like I said in the beginning. Then you got your repeat and your shuffle. If I click this right here, it makes it go full screen, and then you get another pop-up for no ads. I kind of hate seeing these pop-ups for no ads on this application, but it is what it is. And then you got your mini player, which is pretty nice. So you can get a mini player. There we go. And then if I click this button here, it goes back to full screen, kind of. It's trying. It's very trying. There we go. So it's back there. That's the lag I was talking about. And so you can see the different types of things you can do. You can exit full screen by clicking that. And it's straightforward. If I go to video, it's the same thing. You can play video. It's the same thing. So there's not too much to it. You do have your streams, which can stream your videos and stuff like that. It looks like it's having trouble pulling in like album art so far. You got radio stations too for the USA, global beats. You got a whole bunch of things here, different places, different radio stations from across the world and things like that. WAMU 88.5, which is our NPR station in this area at least. So you got a lot of stuff baked into it. I guess my one critique that I would give that I can say right off the bat, or a couple of things that I can say that aren't too nitpicky, is for one, every time I click on this open menu expand button, I expect this area to stay open, but instead, as soon as I click something like now playing, it lags for a second and then it closes again. And I kind of don't like that. I kind of wish that if I choose to click it open, it stays open and I interact with it still open. And if I click it again, it closes. I don't want it to really keep bouncing back to icon view. The other thing too is the misleading labels and things like that for trying to get people to buy the pro version. You can click this to buy the pro version. These two are separate applications that you can download yourself, and then they will probably show pop-ups as well to download the pro version or pay for the pro version. The equalizer, in order to turn it on, you need to pay for the pro version, and it doesn't tell you that it needs a pro version to use this until you turn it on, and then it pops up saying you want to pay $5.99 US. The other thing too, up here, I kind of wish that this thing wasn't here. I get it. Microsoft has ways to give you free trials. So I kind of wish that there was no timer here. It takes up too much space and it's distracting. It's very distracting. You made it the color red probably for a reason, to make it distracting, to force people to buy something. I don't like that. There's a lot of little things I don't like. And then the resource intensiveness of it. If I click this right here, it's now using 300 megabytes, which is much better. But it was, in the beginning of the video, it was using up 500 or 900. It was using up 1 whole gigabyte of memory, which is insane. Even my OBS studio that I'm running right now to record this video is only using 350 megabytes flat. It's not even fluctuating or anything. And then the final thing that I wish you would fix is basically when it constantly tries to scrub for new tracks. It hasn't done it recently, but it was doing it a lot. Kind of wish that it would stop, and I kind of wish that you could turn off the feature of scrubbing. Like, just pick, like, I don't want you to scrub, I only want to open up files on it. Do that. And then if you do still care about the application as a company, definitely think about upgrading this application to the new WinUI, I think 3 style with the fluent design and all that stuff. And then update the backgrounds and everything like that to be dynamic to what is playing. So if I play Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy album, let me see that album art. Let me see something related to that album or something related to Kanye West, something like that. That will bring it so much better for everything. And I don't know how much work this takes to do, but it sounds like you guys pump out a ton of applications. So I think you guys have the power to make this one better. I hate to be that person to do that, but someone has to be the one to speak up if something isn't right that I feel like could be good. It definitely had a lot of potential. I know I didn't show the different codecs and things like that I can just throw at it, but like I could make a 2-hour video clicking on every song that can play on this thing. And I don't see a point in doing that even for VLCs. But overall, it is pretty good. Is it better than VLC Media Player? Definitely not. Is it better than Rise Media Player? Well, I can't fully compare yet because Rise hasn't been completed yet, whereas this one has. So far, I would say between this application here called Media Player, Microsoft's new Media Player for Windows 11, Windows Media Player, and VLC Media Player, I would definitely tell you guys to stay away from this and go with the Microsoft Media Player, or if you want all the codecs, use VLC. In fact, just use VLC. It just works. It's worked for decades. I've used it since Windows XP or whenever it came out. Keep using VLC, and if this gets improved, I will let you guys know. But other than that, my name is Kwaku, and as you know, I'm looking for the next Media Player replacement on Windows for this year, and unfortunately, this one doesn't seem to work for that. So we'll see what I find next, but I'll catch you guys in the next one and see what comes up.